Hello students, we are starting with lesson 1, reading maps of different kinds. This lesson will be taken in two parts. This is the first part. The objectives which we are going to achieve or what we are going to learn from this is definition of a map, basic elements of a map, that is the title, direction, symbol, scale, grid, develop skills to read and draw maps. So first we will start with this and then we go to the second part. So first part. This is the first page. What they have given in the textbook is reading maps of different kinds. They have given you what are the different things shown in a map. They have given some pictures down. These pictures, how you can represent it on a map so that anyone who sees the map will know about that particular place. So let us see first what the definition what you have learnt in class 6th. What is a map? A map is a symbolic representation of selected characteristics of a place, usually drawn on a flat surface. So make it clear that it has to be drawn on a flat surface. You cannot say globe as a map. It presents information about a place in a simple visual way. So now the four pictures what they have given, the same pictures you can represent it in a simple visual way on a small piece of paper. That is what is the skill you are going to learn. Next, represent a real world in a much smaller scale. If it's a very big land, you have to show it in a very small way. They basically show size, shape, location, physical features of a particular place. Now you can see this is a sketch map which is done in class 6th. There is a title given there down. You can see that sketch map showing the way to Mallika's house. So looking at that sketch map, it is of what? Like it is not going to a school, bus stand and all that. It's going to Mallika's house. So title is clear. Just like when you look at the notebook of yours where you have a label and you give the subject, it's clear that it's some particular subject. Another thing given in this map is you have some arrows given and there are some symbols used so that it is easy. Larger presentation, whatever is there, you're representing it in a smaller way with the help of symbols. But you don't have a direction in this. You don't know what is the north, west, north, south, east and west. Directions are very important. Another thing missing here is they have not given the scale. That is the distance, like how much distance you have to travel from the bus stand to Mallika's house. Maybe it is 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or you have to take an auto, car. I don't know what mode of transport. Maybe there is a bus also. So there are a few things missing in this. Okay. So it cannot be called a complete map. So when you draw a map, you have to see that you should have a compass rose. Compass rose is nothing. You should give an arrow. I will just show in the next slide how to be done. And which is the northern position. You have to usually show the north. When you show the top will be always the north. So let us see what are the basic elements we have to cover here. Maps contain lots of information. So most of maps will have 5 following elements: title, compass rose to indicate direction, legend or symbols, scale and grid. So 5 should be there. So already the sketch map which you have seen, you don't have 3 elements, only 2 elements. The title is given and you have got 6 symbols. So 1 and 3 is there. Now let us see what is the first most important one. So first is your title. Now let us see what is a title. Now let us look into the definition. Map title is an element in a map layout that describes the theme or subject of a map. That means when you look at the map itself, reading it down. First one, what did you read? You read it down that it is a sketch map to Mallika's house. So same way, whatever map is there, it will be written there. The map title should instantly, that means immediately, at one look, should give you, viewer, a good idea of the map, what the map is depicting. Now look at this map here. They have given important rock art sites in Telangana state. They have given a compass rose, one N is there. You can just see there. Down there is a scale and they have given some symbols also. Then there is another map coming. Let us see this. It is Penagolu village. That's all it is given. Penagolu village. One note they have given down. Map not to scale. That means there is no scale and all. They have not given the proper measurements. Ratio is not there in the measurement. That I will tell you when we go to the scale. Now we are going to look into the next important element, direction. North, south, east and west are the four main cardinal directions. On a map, north is at the top, south is at the bottom, west to the left and east to the right. There will be no change. This will be there for all the maps. So whenever you are marking a map, you keep it in mind that north is to the top, south is to the bottom, west is to the left and east is to the right. Don't take a map and reverse it and mark it. Sometimes there are children who mark like that. So when it comes to Europe map and all, you may have a problem like that. Now look here, there is a map given. It's a map of India, and in the map already they have given you a compass rose that is pointing to the north there. So if someone will ask you what are the neighboring countries of India to the north, then you can say Pakistan, China. To the boundary to the south of India, the southernmost tip, which ocean is there? You can say Indian Ocean. What are the other two water bodies to the east and the west? To the east we are having Bay of Bengal and the west we are having Arabian Sea. So when you are having a compass rose, it's easy for you to mark it. Okay. Now again you see another one. Here they have just divided the north-south corridor. They are touching it. North-south they are showing with the help of a red line. North to north and south corridor, and east and west corridor they are drawing a line across, and that is the east to the west. Okay. So now let us see what is a magnetic compass. Students, this is a magnetic compass. I hope you can see the needle there to the top. It's the red color that always points towards the north. So the place where I am sitting, I am facing the north, and behind me is the south. So this will help you. So I have to just keep it to the point like this to set in that place, and okay, so now I know behind is south. So if I go to the left side, if I have to go to west, I should go to the right if I have to go to east. So you can go any place. Always the pointer will show you. You are rotating. If I am just rotating it also, the pointer is going to point towards. See, I am trying to see, make it like okay, let it be west. No, it is not going to change, because the present north, it is working on a magnetic field of the earth. It is working according to the magnetic field of the earth. Now we'll see the direction is used to determine where things are in relation to other things. Okay, suppose something is there, you in relation to that, so the west side or the eastern side. Sometimes direction is vague, like when we talk about things being in that general direction. For geographic purpose, direction is more specific. It can describe a position of anything, whether it's a monument, a forest, or a building, or a capital of any place. It should be specific. We cannot say it vaguely, right? For geographic purpose, direction is more specific. Now look here, there are 4 questions provided. With the help of the political map, you have to give the answer. The first one, Meher went to Bhopal from Hyderabad. In which direction did he travel? So now here children, there is a map you are having in your textbook. They have given you 4 questions. So with the help of this map, you have to complete. First one already, Meher went to Bhopal from Hyderabad. So Meher went to Bhopal from Hyderabad. So you have to move to the northern direction. From Hyderabad to Bhopal is moving to the northern direction. Okay, this is to the northern direction. Already they have given here also. Next one, Ashok went to Chennai from Lucknow. So from Lucknow went to Chennai. So from north to south direction. Next, Regina went to Bhubaneswar from Mumbai. From Mumbai, Regina went from Mumbai to Bhubaneswar. So she traveled from west to east. Then the last one, Veperchu went to Jaipur from Kohima. So Kohima is here. Kohima is in the east. From Kohima to Jaipur. Okay, so travel from east to west. East from east to west. In the same way, you try out with your friends with other capitals, and as much you practice, that much you will get skill in it. Okay, so now you know the importance of direction. We have the next important element, that is the symbols. Symbols are small pictures that stand for different features on a map. A symbol is often drawn to look like what it represents. For example, a triangular shape is often used to denote a mountain. Right? There are other symbols which you have learnt in class 6th also, for a temple, mosque, kacha road, pakka road. Let us have a look into that, and then you will understand what you had learnt earlier. Now you can look into this picture what you have done last year. There is an index box given with symbols for tree, masjid, tank, temple, church, broad gauge, police station. Everywhere they have given different symbols, so that it is easy for you to represent it on the map, because you are representing on a small paper. Okay, the real image you are representing it on a small paper. Now there are 3 types of symbols you use: point, line and area. Point usually you use for the capitals or when a particular point area you are going to show. Then it's in one single point. Line is like when it comes to river, borders, you use it. And the third one, area, particular area, what type of mud or sand is there that you can use. Now you can have this one. This is the next one, which is showing the different symbols what we usually use for the maps. This is from class 8th textbook. Anyway, next year you will be learning it, but you will have a better idea now itself. See, there are regular symbols which we are using for the maps. Now this is one map which is showing the mineral and forest density. They have used colors also, and density means how much area is more covered with that particular mineral or with the particular type of forest. So they have used the color, and with the color you can identify. Now this is the page. Now this is page from your textbook. They have given you already point, line and area symbols, how to mark it. Now for point symbol they have given an example as Delhi. You can mark powerhouse or a dam, because you have to just point the particular place there. Then a line symbol, you are using river, you can use the railway track, you can use the kacha road. Already in the 6th class text picture also I had given you. Then you have the area symbol. They have given for playground what color you are using it. Same way for evergreen forest or mineral density, you can use an area symbol. The scale of a map, that is the next important element, is the ratio of a distance on the map to corresponding distance on the ground. So suppose 200 kilometers, you can show it as 1 centimeter on the map. Now the simple concept is complicated by the curvature of the earth's surface, which forces the scale to vary across a map because of the variation. Now let us try to measure the distance of the various places with the help of a scale. They have given you 1 centimeter is equal to 200 kilometers. So here we are going to first measure from Delhi to Hyderabad. It is showing around 7.9 centimeters. So you are going to multiply it with 200. So you are going to get 1580 kilometers, but actually it is 1586.6 kilometers. Why the difference is already I told you in the earlier definition. It is because of the curvature, because we are doing it on a plain map. When it is a curvature, little extra area you have to take. So that's why there will be little changes. Next one is Delhi. Delhi is showing 3.1 centimeter distance from Hyderabad. And if you multiply 3.1 centimeters into 200, you are going to get 620 kilometers. And actually it is 625.8. Next one is Jaipur. We are going to measure from now. Measures it 7.2 centimeters it is. But it is coming 1440 kilometers, but in actual 1444.2 kilometers. So there is a little difference there also. This difference is because of the curvature of the land. with the curvature, when they are doing it, the actual little measurement differences will be there, but you will get a rough idea. Suppose the maps which they prepare for the traveling and other things, it will be a proper, well calculated with scale. But here the picture is provided, a little bit changes will be there, and you have to keep in mind it is because of the curvature. It is a round shape, like when the shape is changing, automatically little more area will be there. Okay, little more area we need it, but here we are doing it on a flat surface, so there will be little difference. And already they have given the scale there, 1 centimeter is equal to 200 kilometers. Now I'll show you the picture where I have done the calculation, so that it will be little more easier for you to understand. That is, whatever measurement you get from one place to one point to another point, that is from Hyderabad to Bhopal or Hyderabad to Delhi, you have to multiply it with 200. You will be getting the distance. Now you can look into the paper here. The calculation is given. The given scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 200 kilometers, already given on the map also. Delhi, it is 7.9 centimeter into 200 kilometers, that is coming to 1580 kilometers. Actual is 1586.6 kilometers. This is because of the curvature. Already in the definition they have given that because of the curvature there will be little change. We are doing on a flat surface, because when it is a globe, we are on a spherical shape, so little curvature will be there, little change will be there. Next one, Chennai, 3.1 centimeter into 200 kilometers, it is 620 kilometers. There actually it is 625.8 kilometers. Jaipur, it is 7.2 centimeters into 200 kilometers, 1440, but actually is 1444.2. Now we are into the last element, that is the grid. A grid is made up of longitude and latitude lines to precisely locate specific location. So it is a crisscross line of longitudes and latitudes. Okay, you know the longitudes, it is start from top North Pole to South Pole, you are having the longitude, and latitude is in a circular. Okay, right from east to west. So now we can look the picture here, you will have a little more idea about it. Most commonly represents the geographic grid system or latitude. Now you can see the grid system how it is. They have given you the longitudes, North Pole to South Pole, and you are having the latitude. Then, and longitude marks used precisely to locate the specific location. So wherever these two points join or the area, with the help of the checks they can just mark it this particular place for the location. Now I'll help you out with a smaller one. Latitude is flat, longitude is long, up and down. Just now I told you, latitude is flat, longitude is up and down from top, that is North Pole to South Pole. This is from east to west, which is continuous. Okay, in a circular motion. Now you look at here, look at this picture. So on a big map or a map of an actual place, now you see they have, these are imaginary lines. Actually no one is sitting and drawing a line on here, but these are imaginary lines so that it is easy for us to locate a place. Now see how we can do it in a very small one. There is a small picture I am going to draw of a tree. Okay, I am going to draw my backyard, map of my backyard. Now you should tell me where the tree is. Okay, so for that purpose I am drawing a small picture of a tree. Now what I am going to do is I am going to divide the backyard. I am splitting it into 4 portions. Okay, I am splitting the backyard into 4 portions. After dividing into 4 portions, now in one portion out of the 4, I am going to plant the tree there. Okay, and have put the sapling. Now if I ask you, where is the tree in my garden? So you can say out of the 4 portion, in one of the portion, your first portion, you can say C3. Your plant is at C3. okay, where C and 3 are meeting, in that particular box, the tree is there. Suppose I plant a tree at 1E, that means in the last box at the top I will be having one tree. Okay, so in the same way you can find out the places with the help of the latitudes and the longitudes. Now look at the world map here. Can you see that orange line? Yes, where that orange line dot is there you are having India. Have you seen North America? Yes, that pink one. Okay, there is a dark black spot on the top there where you can show Russia. Okay, so each place they can mark it with the help. Antarctica is on the red line. Down you can see a point there. Now you can look at this map also. The cities. So which city is in at which place. So based on the lines, the longitude degree and the latitude degree where those lines meet, you can say in particular checkbox or particular number you will find the particular city. Just like when you are sitting in the rows and columns in the class, if I ask someone to go in a particular class to the neighboring class and find out call one student and come, instead of going and calling out, you can say I will tell you the fourth row, as you went to fourth row, third bench, second child from the left. So you will go and immediately you can identify. In the same way you can identify the places also. Now you can see the longitudes and latitudes for Telangana, and with the help of this you can identify the different cities or different districts, the location of different districts. You try it out at home. So this is how the grid will work. So if you know the grid, it's easy to identify the places. With this we end the first part. So we have a homework for you. What is a map? Draw the outline of India and mark the cardinal directions. Draw any 5 symbols you would use in a map. What is the use of a scale of a map and what is a grid? Kindly answer all this. Kindly take a new notebook and write down the answers and also learn, and kindly read the text and take the help of the text to complete the following questions.